Hey there, I'm Uncle Mitch from the Action Network, and if you're watching this video, you may be placing a bet on a football game for the very first time. Or maybe you bet on football lots with your buddies, just never at an online sportsbook. Or you're new to football and to betting, and you're just looking for a fun distraction away from the sometimes miserable realities of life as an adult. But whatever the case may be, in this video, you're going to cover all of the things you need to know to start betting on pro and college football, including how to use an online sportsbook and the types of bets you can make. First things first, in order to bet on football, you have to place a wager. Sounds pretty simple, right? And the quickest and easiest way to do that is to open a sportsbook account. However, in the US, that process will vary from state to state. ActionNetwork.com tracks the progress of sports betting laws in all 50 states and Washington, D.C., and if sports betting isn't legal where you live, you can go to that page for the latest news about where your state is in the legalization process. If you live in a state where online sportsbooks are not legal, that sucks. But if you're close to a state where online sports betting is legal, one option is to go across the state line to that state. You can sign up for an account there, and then you're free to place wagers whenever you're in that state, because you don't need to be a resident of that state to place wagers. You just need to be on state grounds when the wagers are made. If you live in a state where sports betting is legal, congratulations. You just need to follow these 3 steps. Number 1, choose a sportsbook. Head to our website and you'll be able to see our top-rated sportsbooks. You'll see reviews of all the sportsbooks, and you'll learn which ones have the best promos for new members. Because nearly all sportsbooks will pay you to open an account either in the form of a deposit match or in the form of free bets. And opening accounts at multiple sportsbooks is a pretty good idea because it allows you to take advantage of multiple promotions, but also allows you to shop around for the best lines and the best prices on all your bets. Step 2, you have to sign up and verify. You'll need to supply your legal name, email address, and date of birth, and some sportsbooks will add an extra layer of security and make you confirm your social security number and your driver's license. And the final step is number 3, make a deposit. You can use your debit or credit card to make a direct deposit from your bank account. And heads up, some banks are being lame about online sportsbooks, so just heads up there. You can also deposit from PayPal in most cases, and some books also accept cryptocurrency. Certain methods might have fees attached, so again, just heads up. Now, once you've opened an account and made your first deposit, you're ready to bet on some football. Once you know your way around a sportsbook, you'll see that the menu there is very large. There are dozens of wager types for dozens of sports covering hundreds of events. But for now, let's just cover the basics that any new sports gambler can easily understand. Here is an example from week 1 of the 2021 NFL season. In the first column, we'll see that the Cardinals are playing the Titans in Tennessee. We know that because the home team is always listed at the bottom. One column to the right is the point spread. In this case, the Titans are laying 3 points. If you take the Titans against the spread, they need to win by more than 3 points in order for you to win your bet. You'll often see point spreads abbreviated as ATS, which stands for against the spread. The number next to the -3 in that same box represents the odds. You can think of the spread as the product you're looking to buy, and the odds are the price associated with it. Odds tell you how much you can win if you take that bet. So at -110, we know that you have to bet $110 in order to win $100, or $11 if you want to win 10. Now, if the point spread is a negative number, it means that team is favored to win. Here the Titans are -3, they're the favorite. If the point spread is a positive number, it means that team is the underdog, in this case the Arizona Cardinals, who are +3. You can bet on the Cardinals versus the Titans against the spread, and if you do that, if the Cardinals lose by less than 3 or win the game outright, you win your bet. Much of the time, the odds on NFL games against the spread are going to be -110 on both sides. Now, the column to the right of that represents the Moneyline bets. Moneyline is just a fancy word of saying not betting against the spread. simply who will win the game. If you bet on a team and they win the game, you win your bet no matter the score. But each team's odds will be adjusted according to their ability. So just like the minus 110 number from the point spread box, the numbers in the Moneyline row are odds that tell you how much you can win on each bet. So the underdog Cardinals are plus 130. That means that you would win $130 on a $100 wager or $13 on a $10 wager. Conversely, if you wanted to win $100 on the favorite Titans, you would need to bet $155 because their odds are minus 155. The final column is a bet on whether the total score will go above or below a number. In this case, over or under 51.5. With totals, you're not really rooting for either team. You're just rooting for a lot of scoring if you bet the over, or a lot of defense if you bet the under. So if you bet the over on this game and the final score is 30-21, you lose because the combined total is 51 points. That's under the 51.5 total. But if the Titans score 31 and the Cardinals score 21, that's 52. That's over the total of 51.5, and you would win if you bet the over. And typically, just like spreads, for over-unders, the odds are minus 110 on both sides. Now, maybe you're really into fantasy football and you just want to bet on how an individual player will perform. You can do that. It's called a player prop or prop bet. There are all sorts of prop bets. For example, when people bet on how long a performer will take to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl, that's an example of a prop bet. But player props are betting on how a specific player will perform in a given season or game or even a quarter. For example, before the 2021 Super Bowl, Tom Brady's individual passing yards prop was set at 295.5 yards. So you could bet either over or under that number at minus 112 odds. If you bet $112 on the under, you would have won $100 because Tom Brady threw for 201 yards in that game, even though the Buccaneers crushed the Chiefs 31-9. A futures bet is a wager on something that will be determined later in the season. Super Bowls, divisional championships, MVP awards, anything that occurs in the future. And season-long win totals are a very popular form of those kinds of bets. For example, you can bet whether the Chicago Bears will win over or under 7.5 wins this season, or the LA Rams with their new quarterback, Matt Stafford. Their season win total number is set at 10.5 wins. Now, betting on which teams will win the Super Bowl or their conference or which player will win MVP, those are all examples of futures bets. For example, as of this recording, the Houston Texans are plus 18,000 to win the Super Bowl. So if you bet $10 on that today, right now, and they did the unthinkable and won the Super Bowl, you would win $1,800 on a $10 bet. Or if you bet Russell Wilson to win MVP, his odds right now are plus 1,600. If you bet $10 right now, he wins MVP, you win $160. Futures bets tend to have kind of larger payouts, but that's because the outcome is less likely. It's so hard to predict what's going to happen game by game, let alone over the course of a whole season. Now, the final thing I'm going to cover are parlays and teasers. And for both of these, you group individual bets together into a larger bet for a higher payout. Parlays are pretty straightforward. For example, you could play the Carolina Panthers -4 over the New York Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles +3.5 over the Atlanta Falcons. Both of those odds are -110. A $10 bet on that two-team parlay pays $26.44. However, both of those sides have to win in order for you to cash that ticket. If you win one and lose one, you lose the $10. Teasers are similar to those where you're grouping individual bets, but in teasers you receive extra points on the point spread and you sacrifice better payout for less risk. When betting on the NFL, 6-point teasers are probably the most common. In a 6-point teaser, you receive 6 extra points against the spread for each game that you're betting. You make each one less risky. But like a parlay, you have to win both sides in order to cash your teaser bet. For example, if you play a 2-team teaser with that Panthers and Eagles example I just used, you're now getting the Panthers at +2 instead of -4, and you get the Eagles at +8.5 instead of +2.5. The 6 extra points in each game give you a better shot of winning the game, and that's why a $10 bet in this case only pays $9.09. If you parlay them instead at their original spread, it's riskier, and that's why you get almost 3 times more money at $26.44 if your $10 parlay ticket cashed. All right, we covered a lot of ground today, so let's just do a quick recap and refresh our memory. First off, head to actionnetwork.com to see how the sports betting laws are changing where you live and for help in choosing a sports book to open a new account. Now, against the spread, money lines, and totals, those are the 3 most common forms of bets you make when betting on football. With point spreads, you are getting or giving points when picking a team to win. With Moneyline, you're just picking a team to win without getting or giving any points, with the odds adjusted based on the team's abilities. With totals, that is simply betting on the total number of points scored by both teams, with the number going over or under a predicted number. Player props are when you're betting on the performance of an individual player. Futures are bets in which you won't know the outcome until well into the future. For example, MVP or a Super Bowl winner. And parlays and teasers are where you group individual bets together in exchange for either a larger payout or for less risky numbers against the spread. If this video helped you out, go ahead and hit that like button, or if you want to learn more about sports betting odds and terminology, check out this video. And for all of Action Network's how-to videos, check out this playlist. That's all we got today. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there.